For coming. It's not too busy so far, but if it gets too busy, I ask if everyone can keep this pathway kind of clear just so people can easily walk through. That would be very much appreciated. But oh, and one more thing, as our chimpanzees start moving over this way, keep a keen eye out for our babies. We do have 3 new babies, 3 new mothers that are going to be coming around town over here. So keep a sharp eye out for maybe those babies as well.
Yo para la de ayuda para esta ropa. Allá tienen las
Where are you going?
All right, everybody, I'm going to get started. Welcome, everybody. My name is Riley. I'm part of Learning Engagement here at the LA Zoo. Welcome to Chimpanzee Chat. In just a few moments here, I believe my keeper is going to come from on top of that ledge up there and feed our chimpanzees at the same time. So I'm just going to talk about chimpanzees, what they are in general, some like fun facts about our group in particular. If anyone has any questions at any time, feel free to ask. Also, like open more for questions like throughout the way as well. But if you have any questions, please let me know. Feel free to raise your hand at any time. More than happy to answer any and all questions. But on that note, I shall begin. In general, instead of just going with specifically our chimpanzees, I'm going to talk about our great apes as a whole here at the LA Zoo. Here at the LA Zoo, as of last year, we've had 5 new grade 8 babies. They're getting very excited for food. But we've had 5 new grade 8 babies in total at the LA Zoo as of last year. 3 are going to be home to our chimpanzees, so that's why a little bit earlier today I said recommended to keep a keen eye out for some of our babies, because some of our mothers will be holding babies. I think I heard some murmuring about that as well, so hopefully most of y'all saw at least one baby. Yeah, great apes and monkeys are going to be a little bit different. I know some ways to tell the difference, but there's a very easy way to tell the difference in general for our apes and monkeys. Before I give the answer, does anyone have any fun guesses on what's the difference between an ape and a monkey? I promise I won't scream at you. Any guesses? There you go. Tail, that is a great one. Perfect, thank you. So yeah, tail is a great way you can tell the difference between our monkeys and great apes. For example, our chimpanzees, as you might notice, they're going to have no tail whatsoever, very much like us humans. Some of them might have weird looking bottoms. That's actually a way you can tell the difference between our males and females. As for example, you might have seen our mother Yoshi. She had like a more pink swollen bottom. That goes for most of our females. Our females are going to be the members with like pink, more swollen bottoms. It doesn't hurt. Sometimes people are like, do their bottoms hurt? No, they do not. It's just a natural part of the way our females look. And our males are going to be the members that are going to have like flatter, gray bottoms that don't have swelling. So that's the way in general you can tell the difference between our boys and girls. And also that you have 10 females and 7 boys. That includes our new babies, which are going to be 2 girls and 1 boy. I believe our boy is going to be our newest comer at about 4 months old, more or less. A couple dozen, in very rare cases, almost 100 individuals. So there could be a little bit of a range of chimpanzees within a troop, which is a group of chimpanzees. But whatever the size of the group, whether it be 17 or more, there's always going to be a hierarchy. meaning there's going to be low-ranking members and high-ranking members, and that's more of a matter of dominance. That could be a mix of both boys and girls. Member is going to be an alpha. Here at the LA Zoo, our alpha is going to be a male named Glenn. Actually see him right now. He's going to be, oh, one of our babies is walking by. That was actually really adorable. That kind of caught me off guard. But our alpha is going to be our male named Glenn. He's going to be that male you might see like in the wild. He'd be the one that might lead chimpanzees to any food, like fruits and vegetables, kind of what they're eating right now. Because of course in the wild you don't always have the liberty of wonderful zookeepers giving you food. Also, he'd be the one that protects her from any potential threats, because yes, chimpanzees will have some predators as well, especially when they're really, really young and vulnerable. So he'd be the one that kind of protects them from any potential threats. And that's not only limited to predators, but that can also be other chimpanzees. Chimpanzees in general are going to be very territorial. So if no matter if you're a low-ranking member or a high-ranking member within a group, if you're not in that troop particularly, chimpanzees can be very territorial, defensive with other chimpanzees as well. So he'd be kind of the defensive guy for that. And as I think I mentioned before, he'll also handle any disagreements that happen within the troop, like any really big family. Of course you get along, but there's also moments where you might not necessarily get along as well, and he's kind of the middleman for that. But he's going to be our alpha. I did a little bit of rambling. Does anyone have any questions about chimpanzees so far before I continue? Any questions? Nice and high. Sometimes my peripheral vision kind of sucks. Do we have a question up there? Do we have a question? What's the difference between a chimpanzee and a monkey? Excellent question. There's some key ways you can tell the difference between our chimpanzees and monkeys. Chimpanzees tend to be overall a bit bigger than most monkeys. Even our the biggest monkeys in the world, if you haven't seen already, I believe you're going to be over there. They're called mandrills. Even our chimpanzees, they're not going to be the biggest apes, but even they are going to tend to be a bit bigger than our mandrills. So in general, apes are going to be a bit bigger than our monkeys. Another even easier way is chimpanzees have no tail. You'll know in general if you're looking at an ape, if you're looking at a primate that looks a lot like us, but they have no tail. Even for our gibbons, those guys look a lot, quote unquote, like monkeys because they have really lanky bodies, but they're going to be apes as well. Lesser known apes, but apes nonetheless. Question, the blue shirt. Oh, sorry, one more time, my hearing is... Oh, like what do they do in general? Great question. In general, like right now, for example, they're having a little bit, I guess, of an early luncher so far, so they're going to be eating right now. What they do kind of for fun is they do a lot of grooming with each other. Sometimes our boys like to play chase around or do a little bit of fun roughhousing with each other, kind of similar to us human children do as well. A big part of what they do in general, you might have seen that today is lots and lots of grooming. Grooming is a great way of showing affection to one another. It's not always exactly for hygiene, but grooming is a really big part of the way they kind of like to hang out. Speaking of what they're eating actually right now, I believe they're going to be eating lots of like tomatoes or oranges or peppers, something like that today. That's usually what they eat. But chimpanzees are going to be omnivores, so kind of like us humans, they're going to eat like the fruits, vegetables, and meat. Here at the LA Zoo, they don't eat meat per se. They will have like chip biscuits instead, protein chip biscuits instead. But out of the wild, they would like, for a very small part of their diet, they would like hunt for smaller mammals or maybe use very basic tools to dig for insects. But yeah, they are going to eat very similar to us, maybe a little bit better. At least they eat a lot better than me. But they eat kind of the same things as us. And then you might notice as you're looking at all our chimpanzee faces, that's actually a way you can tell whether our chimpanzees are going to be on the older or younger side. Our chimpanzees that have lighter skin, including our babies, are of course going to be our younger members that are going to be like babies to like, I would say early teenage years. But as chimpanzees get older and older, their skin will change and gradually begin to darken into that more charcoal gray. And to give a little context, chimpanzees live around, I would say, 30 to 40 years of age, give or take. Usually in human care, they tend to live a little bit longer than they do in the wild. For example, our oldest member is going to be Regina, who has a giant tomato stuck in her face right now. She's going to be 42 years old. And a really cool thing about her, she's actually going to be a grandma now, because if I believe I mentioned Yoshi. Yoshi is going to be a mother here, who's actually trailing not too far behind from her. And she's going to be the daughter of Regina, and Yoshi has a daughter as well right now. So for the first time in quite some time at the LA Zoo, we have 3 generations, which is pretty sick. Does anyone else have any questions so far? Any more questions? Sorry, my voice is kind of giving out. I am a yapper and I do yap a lot. Any other questions? Awesome. Let me see what else I can say with our chimpanzees. I will say, talking a little bit more about our alpha Glenn as well. Another part of being an alpha is proving that you're always going to be a capable leader. Because there's always going to be boys. Some members of our troop, of course, are okay with being like lower dominant of the group or anything like that. That's just based on personality. But there's always at least going to be some boys that want to challenge your role as an alpha. So there's always going to be a role for Glenn as well. He always has to prove that he's a capable alpha. So there's always going to be a cycle of boys trying to replace our alpha. And of course, a leader in general, like whether human or chimpanzee, can hold the position of power forever, but it's going to be his role to hold on to it as long as he can. But last year, our first baby was born in August, then September, then November. So I believe our newest baby has just turned 4 months old just a few days ago, but that's going to be kind of our babies right now. And then you might notice somewhere our babies have like white spots like on their bottom, which are really cool. They kind of go away as they get older. So that's kind of a evolutionary trait that kind of helps the mothers and whatnot spot their babies. Does anyone have any last questions before I get off mic for today? Any last remaining questions? Well, thank you everybody. Looks like our chimpanzees are kind of going around, maybe going a little bit more to the shade. I'll stick around for a few more minutes in case someone has like any off-mic question or anything like that. But thank you so much, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful day at the zoo. Stay cool and everything like that, and have a great day.
Hi, friends. Hi. Watching the monkey show. Come here. Alex. Which one? Okay, come in here. Want to go with your brother? Your brother wants. Let's go sit down there. Eat first. First snack, then we get more. Eat first, then we get more. Let's go sit down there. Down there. Move. They're looking at them. Yep. Sit over there. Go. Okay, sit down over there. Towards the edge. Go over. Jimena, sit over there.
let's go sit with your friend.
Any gorgeous. Over here?
There? And over there? Let's sit though. Let's sit. Let's sit.
That's how it's supposed to work.